In this lesson, we'll begin placing plumbing fixtures throughout our residential architectural model. Okay, so I'm here in Revit MEP in a mechanical template. And you'll notice a couple of things different than when working in a normal architectural template. The first is my building here is basically the entire thing is grayed out. And that's exactly what I want. And the reason for that is anything that I model in here, into this model within this plumbing or mechanical template will be displayed in a much bolder representation and even color if I wanted it to. That way I can still model my plumbing system and I'm still able to do it within the context of my three-dimensional model. That way I'm not modeling a system that's totally independent of walls and structure and things of that nature that I might need to work around. Secondly, you'll notice here in my project browser, we have a mechanical area here that has basically all our floor plans, ceiling plans, 3D views, and also elevations. But we also have that same thing here just below that with the plumbing. So we have our plumbing floor plans, 3D views, and elevations as well. And the main difference between both is when you're working in this plumbing view, so for instance, if I'm placing something on the first floor plan here in my plumbing, you're only going to see those fixtures. But if I begin placing some pipes and drains and things of that nature, you won't see those elements. So in the plumbing view, you're only going to see the plumbing fixtures that you place into your model. Now in the mechanical area here, which is mostly what we'll be working in, you'll be able to see both. And I like that because I can see my fixtures and I can align my pipes and drains. It just makes working with the entire big picture a lot easier. So for now, I'm simply going to decrease this window here. And if I do need to access this, I can do so simply by clicking on that plus. But we'll click on the minus. That way I'm not too confused about what's going on. So I can focus most of my energy and attention here to what's going on in our mechanical views. So with this, let's go ahead and start placing our fixtures throughout our project. So we'll start from the ground and work our way up. And you'll notice I got several floors here. I've got a basement, mechanical 1, mechanical 2, and an attic. And so how this looks on our three-dimensional model here, I can rotate around and you see it's a 2-story house with an attic, but just below we also have a basement level, which is just below ground. And what we're going to do, and our goal for this lesson, is to place our fixtures first floor, second floor, and the basement. We're not going to do anything with the attic. So we'll start with the basement here, and I'm simply going to go, just like working on an architectural template, we're going to go to the basement floor plan. Now to set your plumbing fixtures or even equipment, it's important to go the necessary route to get it done. So if I want to place some fixtures, I'm simply going to go under my Systems tab and Plumbing Fixtures. And you'll see we have a couple of things here. I already have a stacked washer and dryer here in my system, which is perfect, which is exactly what I want in my basement here. So I'm simply going to click and place that exactly where I want it. Now, when you place your equipment, you'll notice a few things. Just like when we were working with HVAC systems in a previous course, there's a bunch of connections associated with this. So when you're laying out your fixtures and your equipment, keep in mind the location of the drains and connections, because you're going to want to line those up accordingly. That way you're not using extra pipe, extra twists, extra bends, extra elbows to really connect a simple path. So now that we have our washer and dryer in place, let's add one more into our basement area, and I want to add the water heater. So for this one, I'm going to go a different route because it's technically not considered fixture here. It's considered a piece of equipment. So what we'll do in this case is we'll stay in our Systems tab, and we're going to go to Component, and we're going to load Family. And we're going to look for what's going on in our Plumbing Family folder here. We're interested in the MEP folder. And then, like I said, we've got fixtures and equipment. Most of what we're going to be placing in this lesson will be fixtures, but we're going to really quickly place equipment, which is our water heater, which is going to supply the hot water throughout the entire design here. So you got a couple of options here. I'm going to go with the basic water heater here. Just click Open, and we can go ahead and place that one accordingly as well. And again, once I have that in place, I'm definitely going to pay attention to where my connections and drains are. So for now, we may want to rotate this, or we could keep it the same. Let's just adjust this position just a little bit, and if we see we need to make any extra adjustments later on as we begin modeling our pipes, we can do so really easily. So let's bring our attention now up to the first floor. Let's get those fixtures in place as well. So we're going to simply use our plumbing fixture button. We don't have to do any extra searching for this one because we're not going to place any equipment. So plumbing fixture, and let's see if we already have this in our drop down. Probably not. So I'm going to load my family. Again, we're going to go to plumbing, and we're on the first floor. So on the first floor, we're going to have our kitchen area. So I'm going to go to MEP, fixtures, and we can go to appliances, and we're going to go with a kitchen unit, which basically has our kitchen, sink, cabinet, and also a refrigerator. It's got a lot of elements, but a really simple way to connect that's really going to help, and it'll be a really good example for this lesson. So we'll go with that one, we'll open that one, and we're going to place that into our model as well. Again, we're going to pay attention to exactly where all our connections are. That way we get our model placed accordingly. So my connections are in the back, so far so good. And now we'll jump to the second level, and we'll lay out a real simple bathroom layout. So we'll probably have about 3 different plumbing fixtures to get in place. So I'm going to click plumbing fixture again. We're going to load family, go to our plumbing folder, MEP, fixtures, and this time let's get a bathtub in place. And we've got a number of bathroom or bathtubs to choose from. I'm just going to go with this simple Maestro type bathtub, and I'm going to get him placed up against this wall as close as I can here. Perfect. And I know my connections are in back. So far so good. Let's lay out the rest of our fixtures here. So we'll load another family. Plumbing family folder, MEP, fixture, and this time we want to, let's get a water closet in place here. So I'm going to go with this, something that looks more residential. We have a lot of stuff that looks commercial in here. I'm going to stick to the plan here and go with mostly residential fixtures. So we're going to go with this water closet and a flush tank. I'm going to click open. Real easily, we're going to place this one, and we know the orientation is correct on that one, and we know our backs are lined up as well. And lastly, let's enter in our sink or our lavatory. So we'll load family. We'll go to plumbing, MEP, fixtures. We'll go to lavatories, and we'll get the vanity style. That way we have our cabinet and our sink in place here. And I'm simply going to place that one accordingly as well. I know my connections are in back, so we are now in good shape. So let's jump to 3D view and check out our progress. So as I mentioned earlier, you can see our architectural model is basically grayed out, but everything that we put in place is very obviously that this is mechanical and plumbing equipment. And so not only is our attention focused on what we're modeling, but we're also aware of what we're modeling around and what we're modeling in. So in the next lesson, we'll start setting up our hot and cold water systems to supply water throughout this entire system. So I'll see you in the next lesson.